Hi folks, this is update number 3 of my Knocked Out King entry for the Sage script build. On the last update I finished building Dragon's King Tiger and then I airbrushed it with black and grey primer. I let it dry overnight and airbrushed a dark yellow base with sand yellow on flat surfaces. Then I added the other proper tritonal colors belonging to the 44-45 period. Tracks were painted with a combination of red prime plus black, and they were later dabbed with dark steel pigments. Track rust pigments were later fixed with rusty enamel effects, and dark steel was wrapped again on protruding surfaces. Steel elements were given a similar treatment. Everything was fixed with matte varnish and it was complemented with a brown filter. Rusty scratches were added on thin lines I had previously drawn with sandy colors. The tank was sprayed again with matte varnish and scratches effects in order to receive a white camo layer. Some parts were masked so that the tank looked more realistic. Surfaces were scratched with water and oil brush, and once dry it received a varnish layer plus a new brown filter, which was mainly used as a dark wash. Burnt areas were hand painted with holy red and sprayed with varnish and scratches effects. Medium rust was carefully airbrushed at low pressure on fire affected areas. This is the result after scratching the central area with water and an old brush. Tracks were given the previous mentioned treatment. This is how they looked. Now burnt surfaces needed more complexity and I added a variety of pigments. Then I sprayed scratches effects on limiting areas and shimmered surfaces, and then I airbrushed black acrylics at low pressure. I avoided spraying the central areas. Welded areas were given silvery stones on parts that are not covered with soot. Some details were enhanced with lighter rust tones. Reddish wheel rims were dabbed with dark steel. I dealt with the exhausts using different pigments. These numbers marked the tank as a captured vehicle. I drew them with a pencil. And then I added acrylics. Here you can also see that I used some pigments on the deck. A few branches and leaves were added on different places with sand and gravel glue. Dark matte and wet effects were added on some key corners. Fuel mixed with track rust pigments were also added carefully. I guess that less is more. Rust streaks were added around the tank. Again, I tried not to overdo it. And finally, I gave those wheels some dirt and oil. We are done. With a finished diorama, there will be additional weathering. So, here you have it. I hope you like it. It's my first King Tiger and my first burn wreck too. I would like to thank Cohen, Hamilcar Barcos and Ennis Anderson for the tips they gave me, because I didn't know much about knocked out vehicles. If you see any defect or inconsistency, the fault is entirely mine. Nevertheless, as I said, I'm happy with it, and as usual, I had a lot of fun weathering the heck out of it. The most affected area has a basic reddish tone, and the shimmered fringes have been soothed with smoke. This number you see here stands for the fact that the tank has been captured by the Russians, and it has been painted after the fire. That's why the numbers have received just a slight rusty wash to break that white just a little bit. Okay, on the next update I'm going to deal with this photographic team, who are going to be portrayed with the King Tiger on the background. Right, I'm gonna leave you now with a few pictures of the final result, and don't forget the gents, a non-prolific 1/35th modder is going to upload the general June update in a few days, with new stuff and the progress of the participants. Some have already finished and the work is just brilliant. So keep having fun, guys, and see you in the next one. Bye bye.